Stacey Abrams on Tara Reade sexual assault allegation. I believe Joe Biden. She believes him. But what has Joe Biden said so far? Nothing. I believe him. He hasn't said anything. Yeah, but I believe him. The article admits this, by the way. Joe Biden has said, as of the recording of this right now, Joe Biden directly has said nothing about the Tara Reade allegations. And Stacey Abrams goes, I believe him. I believe he's innocent. I believe him. He hasn't said anything. Yeah, I believe him. That we can agree that's the ultimate definition of privilege, right? Like that's, it doesn't get any more privilege than that. Yep, I believe him. He hasn't said anything. Yeah, but I believe him. I totally believe him. Yeah, I'm on his side. He hasn't even said anything. No one's even asked him. Yeah, they haven't. No one's even asked him. Well, I believe him. Like, how ridiculous is that? Yeah, I believe him. All right, let's go look at this thing. Imagine if that was a parent, by the way. Like a parent of a child where it's like, Mrs. Abrams, your son was accused of he was involved in this school prank, and there was some vandalism that occurred to the school pool. I don't know why that's the example that came to my mind. I think it's because I'm rewatching the series The Sopranos, and at one point in the series they do a prank and they vandalize the school pool, and the son is involved. Anyway, but like, yeah, your son's been accused of this thing at school. Like, God, no, he's innocent. I believe him. You haven't asked him. Yeah, but I believe him. No one's asked him. There's no official statement on the record from your kid. How do you? But now he's innocent. Trust me, I know. I believe him. No further. Don't ask him any questions. I believe him. That would be the worst parent ever, or the best if you were that kid. All right, so Stacey Abrams believes Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden didn't say anything. All right, former blah, blah, blah. Stacey Abrams on Tuesday night defended presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden when asked about sexual assault allegations from Tara Reade. So here's what Abrams said about it. I believe that women deserve to be heard, and I believe they need to be listened to. And then I believe that the guy doesn't even need to be asked, apparently. I believe if it's a powerful person that might be able to give me a job, especially, I believe that we don't even need to ask that person. I believe women deserve to be heard. They need to be listened to. And then before we ask the other party involved, I can say, I don't believe you, and I believe this guy because he's powerful. What a lesson, man. But I also believe that those allegations have to be investigated by credible sources. Abrams, who is said to be on the short list to be Biden's running mate. The New York Times did a deep investigation. It was an investigation so deep, they didn't bother asking the interns who Tara Reade was in charge of, and then she wasn't in charge of them. She got those duties taken away from her. They didn't even ask why that happened. That's how deep their investigation was. Their investigation was so deep, they didn't even ask the University of Delaware, who, by the way, the University of Delaware has all those Senate records from Biden's staff, meaning whether or not Tara Reade actually filed, she's saying she filed a complaint with the staff. Whether or not that's true, they're saying that they have no recollection of it. Those records are housed at the University of Delaware. Are we going to find out one way or another? No, because the University of Delaware is refusing to release any of those records. They won't release those records until 2 years after Joe Biden is out of the public eye. 2 years after he is retired, they will then release those records. The New York Times investigation was so thorough, they didn't even bring that part up. That's how thorough it was. That every person that Tara Reade said she told corroborated her story. That there was a call to Larry King, that is allegedly Tara Reade's mom, that happened at the exact date and time that she said it did. New York Times didn't barely even mention that, if they mentioned it at all. Of course, they didn't in the first piece. This is the thorough investigation. So the New York Times did a deep investigation. According to Stacey Abrams, And they found that the accusation was not credible. I believe Joe Biden. They found nothing. They did not find anything. There was nothing conclusive from anything the New York Times has published. They certainly wanted the reader to believe that those accusations were credible. Some of the sentences in that article were so terrible, they had to be retracted, i.e. the one sentence where it's like, there were no other patterns of misconduct by Joe Biden. Well, except for all these instances where women said that he made them feel real uncomfortable with touching and standing too close and just being a weirdo creep. Those aren't the exact words from the article. I'm paraphrasing. But outside of that, there's been no... It's like, I've never drank beer before, guys. I've never had a beer. Well, except for 2 nights ago, I had a beer. And then there was this other time where I had beer. And actually, I've been drinking beer since I was 12. But I don't have a beer right now. And I don't really recall any talk of me having a beer. So I've never had beer. I've never drank beer, you guys. Never done it. All right. So the Times in the report said the newspaper found no pattern. Oh, they referenced this sentence. How about that? They referenced the sentence that I just brought up. They actually have the nerve to reference in this Hill article. The Times, in the report that Abrams referenced, said that the newspaper found no pattern of sexual misconduct by Mr. Biden. Why aren't they sharing that entire paragraph that later had to be retracted? Because that actual paragraph found there was no pattern of sexual misconduct by Mr. Biden. Well, except for all these instances of women saying he made them feel grossly uncomfortable, inappropriate touching, except for all of these instances, there's been no pattern of sexual misconduct. There's no pattern of sexual misconduct, well, except for all these instances where there were. That's the sentence that this Hill article is referencing. And that's the sentence that Stacey Abrams is pointing to call it a deep investigation and say that it means Joe Biden is innocent. And she believes Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden has said nothing. Wow. I believe him. What evidence do you have? A sentence in the New York Times where they said there was no pattern of misconduct, and then later they listed all the patterns of misconduct. But that's what I'm pointing to. Joe Biden hasn't said anything. Nope. Do you just believe him? Yeah. Don't you think women deserve to be heard? Yeah, they deserve to be heard and then ignored when it's a powerful person that we like. This is not from The Onion. This is real. Like, Stacey Abrams is a real politician, and this is a real article of a real thing that's happening. This is not fake. This is not a dystopian Family Guy sketch where they talk about how horrible our politics has gotten in a foreshadowing sketch where Brian the dog is talking about how crappy the nominees are. This is real. This is real time. Real time. Man. What a testament to power. I believe him. He hasn't said anything. I believe him. Yeah, I believe him. He's cool. There's a sentence in the New York Times. That's all I need. All right, Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams. Man, is she really vying for that VP spot. Boy, does she want it. She wants it really, really bad, folks. All right.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.